For over 100 years, when you bought a handgun, that gun stayed exactly the same. Same grip, same frame, same configuration. If you wanted something different, you bought a completely different gun. But that's starting to change, because today, some of the most popular handguns in America aren't really single guns anymore. They're platforms. And once you understand that shift, you start to realize something important. The gun you bought may not actually be the gun anymore. Hi, I'm Etch. Welcome to the Redland Standard. This is where we slow down the conversation around firearms and actually explain what's happening inside the industry. Not rumors and not internet hype. Just the mechanics of how the market is actually evolving. And right now, one of the biggest changes happening in modern handguns is modular design. For most firearm history, the gun itself was the permanent object. The frame was the gun. Everything else attached to it, which meant if you wanted a different grip size, a different feel, a different configuration, your only option was buying another firearm. The industry operated on a simple concept: different gun, different purchase. That model started changing when manufacturers began separating the serialized components from the rest of the firearm. In some modern pistols, the legally regulated firearm is not the frame you hold. It's the internal chassis. Examples of this design include pistols like the Sig Sauer P320 and newer designs such as the Springfield Echelon. In these systems, the internal chassis contains the serialized firearm component. Everything around it becomes modular. Grip modules, frame sizes, ergonomics, all of it interchangeable. That means the firearm you purchased is really just the core. Everything around it can change. Different grip size, different frame geometry, different configurations, but the same serialized firearm. And that small design change is quietly reshaping the handgun market. From an engineering standpoint, modular systems solve several problems at once. First, ergonomics. One firearm can adapt to different hand sizes without requiring a completely different model. Second, manufacturing efficiency. Instead of producing dozens of separate pistol models, companies can design one platform and build variations around it. Third, consumer flexibility. Owners can adjust the firearm configuration without replacing the serialized core. The result is something closer to a platform ecosystem than a traditional firearm model. What makes this shift interesting isn't just the design itself. It's what it signals about the direction of the industry. For decades, firearms companies competed primarily through new models. Now, many manufacturers are thinking in terms of platform ecosystems, which means future innovation may look less like an entirely new gun and more like expanding systems built around a core serialized chassis. This is the same transition we saw in other industries. Computers moved from individual machines to platforms. Smartphones became ecosystems. Now, firearms may be starting the same transition, from individual models to modular platforms. For firearms owners, modular systems introduce a different way of thinking about purchases. Instead of asking, "What gun should I buy?" many shooters begin asking, "How should I configure the platform I already have?" And that shift could reshape everything from how guns are sold to how manufacturers design the next generation of firearms. Firearms evolve slowly, but every once in a while, a design change shows up that quietly alters the entire direction of the industry. Modular handgun platforms may be one of those changes. And years from now, we may look back and realize this was the moment when the handgun stopped being a single object and started becoming a system. Have you handled a modular handgun platform yet? Did you prefer the modular design, or do you still prefer the traditional fixed frame pistol? Let me know by dropping your experience down in the comments below.